So when did you know that you were pansexual?
Okay, so I thought I was straight. I guess everyone grows up thinking they're straight, or most people do, because that's sort of the default. But when I when I was like 14 or 15 or something like that, I realized, you won't believe it, I realized that I liked dick, okay? I thought dick was handsome, okay? And the way that I realized that at first was through those god-awful, like, fake Funanari live-action websites, where it was like, yeah, here's a girl with a dick, and it's like a fake prosthetic thing, whatever. I fucking never seen a dick in person except for my own. I don't know. But anyway, those were, in retrospect, terrible. But a little while after that, I wondered, like, hey, mathematically, if I like dicks, like, I'm probably going to have a way easier time finding them on guys. Do I like guys, or do I just like the dick? And a little while after that, I realized I didn't mind the guy thing either. So
Yeah, that's very interesting. Most people usually like sort of know by like experimenting in college or like or the very least sort of like internally sort of formulate that within like their formative years or like in their teenage years. So we're like how old were you when you like sort of like accepted that you were a pan?
I guess it would have been like 16, but I said bi back then because I didn't know the difference between the terms, and I don't really think there is, in a practical sense, a difference between the terms. But I guess it was like 16. I was actually like super proud of it too. I remember back when I was really, 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 really young, like 6 or 7 or something. I was super proud of my Irish ancestry, even though I am 1/4 Irish, have never been to Ireland, don't know anything about Ireland, and don't care about Ireland. So when asked by my like second grade computer teacher to make an email handle, I picked Irish Laddie, which is stuck with me for some time afterwards. And I think that in the same spirit of desperately wanting to be part of like a community or have a fun descriptor to attach myself to, the moment I thought I might be into dudes, I was like telling all my friends like, "Yep, I'm actually bi." Ha! Aren't I cool? Like that kind of thing.
Cool kid in school that's bi.
Yeah, exactly.
So did religion ever have an influence in your experiences as someone that's LGBTQ?
No, my parents are pretty much agnostic, and the community that I was raised in is really, really Jewish. Beverly Hills and like the Hollywood area, and they aren't like super fucking annoying the way a lot of Christians tend to be when they heavily dominate a region's politics and culture. The only I was like never proselytized at, even by the Orthodox Jews. And I'm pretty sure Orthodox Jews tend to be pretty homophobic too, but they were never they were never a pain in the ass or anything like that. So I never really experienced any mistreatment on account of my my identity or preferences.
Well, that's good. It's definitely good that you didn't feel any like any external pressure from people for the most part. Which kind of leads into my next question. I usually ask if they ever have conflicting feelings throughout their childhood about like being who they are and stuff like that. But I think we could skip that. Um,
No, I was pretty
oh
well
really?
adjusted about it. I no 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 no,
Yeah.
as in you're
Okay.
correct. I never even had a conversation with my parents about it, because I thought my thoughts were when I was young, like in mid to late high school, like I could talk to my parents and say like, "Hey, just so you know, like I'm bi or I'm pan, I'm into guys too." And considering how progressive my parents had always been, I thought about it and I thought, what am I even going to get out of that conversation? Like all they're going to do is tell me, "Oh, of course we love you anyway." It's like like what am I even telling them for? Like I there's no other outcome that they would give me. There's no negative outcome here. It would just be like a 2-minute conversation. If anything, they'd be annoying about it because they'd be like, "Oh my god, thank you, you're so brave for telling us," and I'd be like, "No, it's fine." So I just opted not to tell them and never have told them, and then I just casually mentioned at some point in the future, like, "Oh yeah, well there was this guy I hooked up with, and it was never questioned or nobody had any issues with it." So yeah. It's just we skipped the whole conversation basically.
Yeah, well, that's always good too. You always hear about people coming out, but like the parents just sort of silently accepting you is also pretty rad.
Yeah, I guess that should be like the right. That seems like the best way, right? I mean, because you never have the conversation if you're straight. You never have to go like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm straight." So it seems like a sort of assumed default acceptance is the best possible outcome. At least it made
If
me feel
anything,
good.
if anything's growing up in certain areas, it's sort of like the opposite, where like parents will like worry if their kid is gay, and it's like really weird. Like that, like I've heard parents like be like, "Oh, well, I'm glad I was worried he was gay for a second there, or something like that," or
Yeah.
and it's just really bizarre.
Yeah, it's I had friends who were in that position too, because well, they did turn out to be gay, so their parents' deepest fears were totally valid, but or warranted, I should say. But where it's they're like, oh, I'm so glad that my son went to this hunting trip, or they went to this computer science thing or whatever, because I thought they were gay, and this will be good to make them more manly or whatever. And of course, it never fucking works that way, right? I mean, you go on a hunting trip if
Yeah.
you're a gay lad, and you find other gay lads on the hunting trip who are also sent there by their homophobic fathers. So it's pretty much an ongoing process.
Yeah. What was your experience going through school as LGBT? Like, were you ever like what was like going through school like for you as someone that was part of the LGBTQ spectrum, as it were?
I wish I had more of a like victimhood story to jerk off over, but honestly, it really didn't change that much. I was never bullied. Like, I guess sometimes like I got called the F slur, but I think it was the same amount as I got called the F slur before I realized that I was into guys too. So I think that might have been the acceptable, sexuality neutral F slur. Not so much the targeted. I never felt like I was attacked over it, really. Even the bully, I didn't really have like bullies, I guess, because I was a big kid. I wasn't super popular, but I wasn't like prime being mean to material. But even then, the mean comments that I got were always more classic bully shit, like you're fat, or like four eyes or whatever. Well, I guess the you're fat thing stopped because I started working out pretty early. But you know what I mean. It was never really targeted along those lines. It might have also been like an accessibility thing, because I mean, I don't think I fucked any guys when I was in high school. Not until later. I don't actually. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Did I don't remember. I don't think that I did. So no, it would have been early college. No, Vermin, that was the full-time, like, full penetration. There was stuff before that. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been in high school. So anyway, I don't know if I gave people the opportunity to make fun of me. I wasn't, like, making out with dudes in the hallway or whatever.
Well, beyond just like the bullying stuff, like what was it like going through school? Like, did you have friends that were like also LGBT? Did you guys like have like a little like sort of clique within the school?
I had no, my clique were all fucking nerds. We played WoW and shit. I had the one person who I was hooking up with back then was a girl who was also bi or pan or whatever, but she was also, I don't know if she was really a pariah. We didn't have the same social circle. I don't really think that I bonded with anyone over it. That didn't really happen until college, because Beverly High was a pretty progressive place, in the sense that, at least with LGBTQ stuff, I don't think it was as bad as a lot of other high schools seem to be with that kind of stuff. But I don't know how much representation there was either. I think I only knew one gay kid, and he was an annoying cunt. Like, my parents actually sent me to therapy when I was like 11 years old because I was being homophobic to this one gay kid. I didn't even know what being gay meant back then, but he was so annoying that I just assumed that being gay was what made him annoying. So my parents were worried, and they were like, okay, hold on. And I didn't actually talk to the therapist about anything because there was nothing to talk about. We were based. The therapist was gay too, but again, I didn't know what being gay meant. I just assumed it was some kind of like group or like personality trait. It might as well have been like a Miggs Breyer. It might as well have been a horoscope to me. Okay, so apart from that one asshole, I didn't really interact with any people who I knew to be LGBTQ until college. At which point, pretty much all of my friends since that have been gay. In fact, I don't actually think I've made a single straight friend since going to college. So the bias really kicked in around there.
Okay, someone in my chat was like, "Lil Vaush thinking gay equals annoying."
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, I ended up being right about that, but for much more complicated and sociological reasons than I initially thought. I legitimately thought it was just like a, just like a this stupid. It's like, oh, a person's gay. It's like, you might as well have told me you're a you know, a Raiders fan. I have no fucking idea. But when I went to college, that's when I started making all the gay friends.